Good morning. It's Lisa with Lisahealyourself. This morning's my birthday. I'm out for a walk, and the topic today is decide. So this is a very fitting topic for today because as it being my birthday, I had a plan for a while that my children were going to the city. They were going to my in-laws. My husband and I were going to have this wonderful date night. We were going to go out to dinner. We're going to have the house to ourselves. I would have no work to do, this whole thing. The entire plan has fell apart. And of course, the children are no longer going. My husband's at work. The dinner's canceled. And I woke up, unfortunately, feeling a whole bunch of pain this morning. Which is, I've had a rough year. So for those of you who have known my journey, I've had a rough year. I've had a massive setback and started to come through that setback very nicely. But this morning I woke up in a lot of pain and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I'm in pain. None of this is working out for me. I started to fall into that victim mindset, like, oh my gosh, I have to get up and make my own bed and do the dishes, and it's not going to be a great day. It's not going to be the day I planned. None of this, is working out in my favor. I started to feel that things started to feel worse. The pain started to get worse. Everything started to feel worse as I laid there and let it wash over me in sort of that victim mentality. But very quickly, because I've done so much work on myself, I became aware very, very fast. So I became aware rather quickly that I was experiencing a story. And I was telling myself a story, a victimhood story. And the only thing that you can do at that point is decide. Okay? Decide. And this is not true just for when you're having bad days, but this is true for life. This is true for healing. This is true for every single thing along this journey. You need to be able to become aware and to see when you're not making the right decisions, and then you need to decide, because healing is a decision, right? Getting what you want, creating the life you want, manifesting what you want is a decision. Even though it feels like none of that was in my control. I woke up in the pain. My kids couldn't go to my in-laws anymore. My husband had to do something really important at work. None of this is going to work out. We had to cancel our dinner reservations. We're not going to have the house to ourselves tonight. All of that, every single part of that felt like, was outside of my control, but really it's inside my control how I feel, how I respond, and how I react. Everything that happens doesn't matter. It's how you feel and how you respond and how you react. And so when you can decide, no, I am going to enjoy my birthday. I am going to have an amazing day. This is going to be an amazing year. I am, going to fully 100% heal. This is totally going to happen because I said so, because I'm making a decision, because I claim it, because I decide. So I got up, I made my bed, I did dishes, I cleaned up after the kids, which, everyone wants a day off on their birthday, but of course it's not meant to be. I got in the car and I drove to my favorite spot for a walk along my favorite part of the beach. And I decided, I made a decision. Today is going to be a great day. I feel great. I can feel great. Today is going to be a great day. And you know what? The pain has already started to subside. It's not completely gone, but it's already really started to reside into the background. My mental attitude has uplifted. I feel better. I feel happy. I feel positive, and I feel like I'm going in the direction of what I want because I made a decision. And so I know this is going to be my year, right? And this is going to be a great day. And when you decide, you take actions that are in alignment with your decision. You don't just decide and then just continue to sit there and feel sorry for yourself and lay in bed and lament, how things aren't working out for you. You get up and you do something that follows inspired action. And so here I am on my favorite part of the beach. Isn't this just absolutely gorgeous? Walking in the sunshine. I go home and enjoy my favorite tea. I might sit out on my deck and read a book. I might indulge in, my favorite keto vanilla ice cream made with coconut milk that I absolutely love. Or who knows what I'm going to do. but I'm going to decide to make it a fantastic day. And not only that, a fantastic year, reaching every goal that I've ever wanted to have, reaching the goals of my dreams, because I've decided. And this isn't, to say that you can always ignore your circumstances and you can always, rise above something. Obviously, what I had to rise above today is a lot less than many of things I've had to rise above in the past, obviously. But the point is, you need to make a decision, and then you need to continue to make that decision every day. Every day of your life, you need to make the same decision. And so it becomes easier to rise. It becomes easier to overcome. So let's talk about deciding. Let's talk about how you can make a decision to be healed, to heal, and to live your best life. Because deciding, there's an art to making decisions. And there's also reasons why we fail to decide, why we stay in indecision, why we allow ourselves to sink down into victim consciousness and don't decide to have the life that we want. And part of that is because, the first thing is because we just forget. We're unconscious. We forget that we are the creators. We are the creators of our own lives, and we can just decide something new at any point. That we're basically the gods of our lives, and we can make decisions. We can change a thought or a pattern or a decision or an environment or anything that we're doing at any given time. We can just take the reins and decide, because we have the ability to, because we are the creators of our own lives. And oftentimes we're unconscious. We're doing things unconsciously and subconsciously, and we forget this. The major fact that we are the creators of our own life, and we can just wake up and decide at any point. So that's the number one reason why we don't decide, is because we forget that we actually can, and that we have that power to decide anything. The second reason is because we're afraid to make the wrong decision. We're afraid, of indecision. We're afraid. We don't know what the right decision is. We really don't know. It's a choice between this or that, or we don't know what to decide. And so, indecision is a decision. And that is that you won't get what you want by being indecisive. We just try to let the world, we hand over our power to somebody else or the world to make the decision for us. And that is indecision is the decision to let the world decide for us. And that really diminishes us of our power. And when we do that, we never get what we want, right? If we were looking at a menu and we had to decide between two things on the menu, and we just said to the waiter, you decide, right? Came back with something that we really didn't want, we couldn't be surprised, because we let the decision, out of our hands. We gave it to the world. We gave it to the waiter. We gave it to whoever. And so that is, most of us are stuck in the land of indecision, where we just decide to give our power away to someone else, something bigger, something outside of us, the world at large. And when we don't decide, we stay stuck. Sometimes we don't make a decision because we don't really know what it is we want. We're conflicted. What do we want? We don't know ourselves. We haven't done the inner work. We don't know what it is that we want, who it is that we are, what our highest desires are, what our true self wants, right? Because when we decide from the place of our true self, we always feel in ease, in alignment, right? If you make a decision from your ego self, you feel out of alignment, you feel at odds, you don't feel quite comfortable, the decision doesn't feel quite right. But when we decide from our higher self, because we know who we are at a soul level, we make a decision. When we decide, we are in alignment with ourself. And when we're in alignment with who we are, the decision always feels right. It feels good. And when the decision feels right, and when we feel in alignment, we start to manifest what it is that we want. We start to create it, because we're creating from alignment. We're creating from the truest parts of ourselves. So making a decision means you have to be in alignment with what it is that you want. So you may say, I want to heal, but if you really want comfort or sympathy, or in my case this morning, like just for someone to care that it was my birthday and to make everything go my way this morning, right? Did I want that more than I wanted to heal? No, the answer is no. So I had to really decide, what is it that you want then? I want to enjoy my day. I want to have a good day. I want to feel good in my body, right? So it's easy to make the decision. Okay, then you get to have that. You get to choose that. The outside world doesn't have to go according to your plan or what you wanted or what you thought would make you happy. You can be happy and you can choose to enjoy this day no matter what comes your way. And so when you make choices that align with who you are and what you actually want, it's easy. It's easy to let go of, that birthday date and that overnight date with my husband and, the fact that I had to get up and do dishes on my birthday and all these things. It doesn't matter anymore because that's not what I truly want, right? Those things were a means to the end to make me feel good, to make me feel cared about, to feel at ease. I can choose that without those things. And so deciding can be this easy, right? To know what you want, to decide, to take action, and to feel aligned with what it is you want, and then make a decision to not leave it up to the world, to not leave it in anyone else's hands, to take back your power, to choose for yourself, and then to take action that's in alignment with what it is that you want, what it is that you most want. And that's how you go forward. That's how you create the life that you want. That is how it always starts with a decision. It starts with a decision. You have to decide. All right, so here I am back home, and I took my paddleboard and I'm gonna go out for a little paddle just on the lake, just along the shore. It's not gonna be a very long paddle because I don't have a lot of time. But I'm going to take 15 minutes to myself just to paddle up and down the shore in a meditative style, just thinking, just being with myself. And this is truly in alignment with what I want to feel and experience on my birthday, a peace and ease. And so I can just decide, right? Sometimes decisions feel totally aligned, and other times it's hard to make the right decisions, right? I could look at a piece of chocolate, ooey gooey birthday cake, and even though it's what I want and I want to decide to have it, I can say no. My higher self wants to be healed, wants to be healthy, and so I choose to make something super healthy that checks all those boxes, that has real food ingredients, that is organic, that I can feel good about eating. And sometimes it's just it's hard to make a decision, right? We feel afraid. We have to look fear in the face sometimes. And so no matter what you are up against when you are making your decision, it always comes down to just deciding what it is that you want most, what your highest goal is, and choosing an alignment with what it is that you want most. And you'll know you're in alignment because it feels right. It feels good. It feels connected to that highest goal and that highest self that you want. And even if the decision's hard, even if the action's hard, even if it feels uncomfortable, and sometimes it won't. Sometimes it'll feel totally beautiful and in alignment. But we feel in our hearts that it's aligned with our highest good. Okay, I'm going to go out now on the lake. So here I am out on the lake on my birthday. When I woke up this morning, I never thought this was possible, right? This wasn't in the plan. And I just felt sorry for myself. But when I decided, look what has manifested. Look where I am. Isn't this amazing to be out here on the water? And I hadn't planned it. And it just goes to show you that when you decide in alignment, it doesn't matter what you decide, whether it is sitting on my deck and having a tea and enjoying myself and feeling at ease, or whether it's being out here on a paddleboard, or whether it's going for a walk in my favorite spot. It's like the energy with the decision you make is the most important. How you choose to feel is the most important, right? And is it in alignment with my highest self and with my highest with the highest thing that I want, right? So it doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be miraculous. It only has to align with who it is that you are and what you want in this life. And that's everything. It's like the energy that you come to the decision with a peace in your heart, with a knowing, with a choice, right? You have to decide. I got back to the house. I noticed that the dishes needed to be done. I noticed that the floor needed to be vacuumed. I noticed that things need to be tidied up. And I noticed that the outside furniture needed to be wiped down. So rather than feel sorry for myself in my one day a year where I should actually not have to do anything, I made a decision that aligns with the fact that I like things to feel comfy and cozy and nice better than I didn't want to do that work on my birthday. So I just went ahead and did it. I did it all. It took about 40 minutes. It's completely done. And now I feel so good. I feel so good about the house that I get to sit in all day, clean and fresh and everything how I like it. I'm enjoying my tea and my kids are up and they are having showers. They should be ready in about a half an hour. So I get a half an hour to enjoy my tea now and meditate. I'm going to take this time to meditate, even though it's not in alignment with exactly what I want to do on my birthday. It's in alignment with who I am, with what I've chosen. And your decisions that you make happen in the follow through. So you align with what you want. I want to be healed. I want to have a life of ease and happiness and joy, of feeling good inside my body and good in my environment. So when you make that and you know what you want, then you can easily make a decision in the moment. You can easily make decisions that align with that. And even though it's not necessarily like cleaning my house wasn't top of my list on my birthday, but it aligns with what I want. I want to feel good in my environment. I want to feel good today. And that helps me feel good. So the decision you can make, and when you make it, you know it's in alignment with what you actually want. Even if it's hard or even if it's not exactly what you want to do, it feels in alignment with who you are and what your decisions are and what you want. Drinking an herbal tea with fresh ginger is in alignment with wanting to be healthy, right? And so I just make the choices that make me feel good, to be out in the sunlight, to go for my walk, to get some exercise this morning, to clean the house, to drink a tea. And I feel almost zero pain now. So, I mean, this stuff works. It works because where you put your focus is the first part in making any decision, right? Like I can't open my mouth and speak without first having made a decision that I'm going to open up my mouth and speak. My brain simply won't do it. If I want to raise this tea to my mouth and drink, I've literally made a decision to do that. It may be conscious, it may be unconscious, but you do not do anything. There's no follow through unless you first decided. And some of those decisions can be so easy because it's in line with what you already believe. I believe I can lift this glass and just put it to my mouth and drink and it's not work. Therefore, it's an easy manifestation. It doesn't even feel like manifestation. It doesn't even feel like work because I believe it, because it's in alignment with what I believe to be true. But if I don't believe I can get up and walk 5 miles because I have chronic fatigue syndrome, that's going to be harder to manifest. That's going to be harder to call into being because I don't believe it. It's not in alignment with my beliefs. But when something's in alignment with our beliefs, like drinking from a mug, smiling, wiggling my finger, like that comes easily. I can do those things easily, but yet I've made a decision and my brain has told my body to do that. Nothing first happens without the thought passing through our brain, and then the body aligns. The body does what you've told it to do. So remember that you are in control. Your thoughts are in control of this, and you are the creator. You are the director, from talking to raising a glass to your lips, from doing anything extremely difficult. You are the director of all of it. Once you make the decision, you have to follow through. Follow through is the most important aspect of deciding. If you just decide and take no action, if I decide I'm going to drink this tea, but I don't follow through, Like it doesn't, the glass doesn't get lifted, and I don't drink, right? So follow through is important. The follow through. You have to follow through. The follow through is sometimes work. The through takes effort. The follow through, isn't always easy. It doesn't always come easy, but that's where the magic is. You decide, you know it's in alignment with who and what you are, and then you follow through. And when you can follow this simple process of knowing what you want, deciding in alignment with what you want, and then actually following through on the actions that it takes to get what you want, that's how you manifest. That's how you create what it is you want. And that's how a decision becomes alive, right? A decision is just a thought until you act on it. It becomes alive. It becomes a living, breathing, real decision when you act, when you take aligned action. So my aligned action is to meditate before this half an hour's up. And, I have the kids to do things with. So if I don't turn off this video camera, go sit down, close my eyes, and begin to meditate, it won't happen. So, right, the decision, I've decided I'm going to do it, but it becomes a live, living thing when you follow through. And so now I'm going to shut off the video camera. I'm going to go do my meditation because it's all in the follow through. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've gotten value out of it. And I hope you make a decision today that's in alignment with what it is you want, and then you follow through. If you repeat this process over and over, you've already won. There is no chance that you can't heal and get everything it is that you want. So again, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm going to take some aligned action, and I hope you do the same.